Speaking of weather, I opened up to Pema Chodron's Comfortable with Uncertainty, chapter 13. It's called Weather and the Four Noble Truths. And she writes, in the Buddha's first teaching, called the Four Noble Truths, he talked about suffering. The first noble truth says that it's part of being human to feel discomfort. Nothing in its essence is one way or the other. All around us, the wind, the fire, the earth, the water, are always taking on different qualities, and they're like magicians. We also change like the weather. We ebb and flow like the tides. We wax and wane like the moon. We fail to see that, like the weather, we are fluid, not solid, and so we suffer. The second noble truth says that resistance is the fundamental operating mechanism of what we call ego, that resisting life causes suffering. Traditionally, it is said that the cause of suffering is clinging to our narrow view, which is to say we are addicted to me. We resist that we change like and flow like the weather, that we have the same energy as all living things. When we resist, we dig in our heels. We make ourselves really solid. Resisting is what is called ego. About halfway done with this reading. Then she says, the third noble truth says that suffering ceases when we let go of trying to maintain the huge me at any cost. This is what we practice in meditation. When we let go of the thinking and the storyline, we are left just sitting with the quality and energy of whatever particular weather we have been trying to resist. The essence of the fourth noble truth is that we can use everything we do to help us realize that we are part of the energy that creates everything. If we learn to sit still like a mountain in a hurricane, unprotected from the truth and vividness and the immediacy of simply being part of life, then we are not this separate being who has to have things turn out our way. When we stop resisting and letting the weather simply flow, and let the weather simply flow through us, we can live our lives completely. It's up to us. Let's practice. And we are doing yin today, so make sure you have some props, cushions, pillows nearby. Feel free to close your eyes or gaze at a point out in front of you. Take a moment here just to drop in, connect to your breath. Notice how your internal weather is today. How are you feeling? And just allow yourself to breathe through. As a way of stepping into our practice, we'll sing the sound Om one time. Feel free to join your palms. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. Inhale again. Release your hands. Open your eyes. First pose we're doing is cat and cow. So just come onto all fours, hands and knees. Line up your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And begin to round your spine, bringing your chin toward your chest, your tailbone through your legs. Just moving back and forth, lifting and rounding at your own pace, with your own breath. Feel free to add in other small or large movements along the way, making your movements more organic. Come back to a neutral spine. Bring your toes or your ankles and your knees together. Curl your toes under and then sit back on your heels. You can just rest your hands on your thighs, or you can add in a shoulder stretch, either clasping hands behind you or reaching your arms above you. Either one. And come off of your heels, grab onto your bolster or pillow or blanket stack. You can also roll up a blanket and then place it like a T on your mat. Your mat is the stick of the T and your bolster is the cross of the T. And then the first thing we're gonna do is you're gonna aim the bottom tips of your shoulder blades to the part of the prop closest to you. It might be a good idea to have a block or another blanket nearby for your head if you need it. And so from here, just start with your feet on the floor, knees bent, and then slowly drop yourself to your prop. And then once you sit there on your prop, you can scoot back just a little bit so your flesh moves down toward your hips. And then use your hands to drop your head toward the floor. And this might be where you place a block underneath your head at whatever level or height. For your legs, you can either take feet wide, knees together, legs out straight, allow your legs to open, or feet together, knees wide. And then your arms can just rest above your head or out wherever they're comfortable. We'll be here for several minutes, starting now. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, let it out with a sigh. Next, we're just going to slide ourselves down to our mid backs. So if you have a block under your head, you want to move it back. And then come onto your upper back on the floor, middle back on the prop. You might need to adjust a little bit, then maybe straighten your legs or keep your knees bent, feet wide, knees together. And then again, take your arms wherever most comfortable for you. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. And then gently bend your knees. Push your feet down and your upper back down to lift your hips up. And then slide your prop under your hips now. And again, you could add height by adding a blanket or pillow, or leave it where it is and just set your hips down. These are all like therapeutic back bends here. You can just let your arms come out wherever comfortable again. Same with your legs. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. Then gently bend your knees. Push your feet down to lift your hips up and just remove your prop to the side. And then just slide your props so that they're not in the way of your legs, because we're going to do supine twist here. Straighten both of your legs. You can also do this with both knees bent. Pull your left knee in towards you, and then grab onto your outer left thigh with your right hand and roll onto your outer right hip. Take your left arm off to the left like half of a saguaro cactus. And then let your head either face straight up, or you can even look to the left. Always feel free to prop up your inner left thigh if you need extra support. And switch sides. Bend your right knee. Either bend or straighten your left leg and twist to the left. Gently untwist. Roll to one side. And then use your arms to press yourself back up. Now you can do this next one with or without a prop, and I'll show you both ways. It's sideways shoelace, also known as cow face and other regular yoga. So we're gonna start by taking your right leg on top of your left leg. So I'm not mirroring, just a heads up. And so you can stack your legs as much as you can. Feel free to prop up under here with a blanket or something. And then you want your heels not too close to your hips, but not out straight either. And then the lean is to your right. So whatever leg's on top, you're leaning to that direction. Without the props, it would just be balancing on your right hand, turning to your left, being as sideways as possible, and then taking this top arm up and over your head and draping it somewhere where it won't slide off. You can also just have your arm hanging off to the side or even over your right leg. If you're doing this on props, you can elevate it to whatever height you need with extra blocks underneath or anything like that. Take it far enough away from you, about level with your foot, maybe a little further, maybe a little closer. And then take your right elbow to your prop, head in your hand, and then drape your left arm over your ear. Take a full breath in. Exhale with a sigh. Then gently lift yourself back up. Take your legs out straight. And then shift your props over to your other side. And then head on in whenever you're ready. And take your time always to get just right. It's left leg on top. Take a full breath in. Then slowly sit back up as you exhale. Take your legs forward. Then just take your props on top of your legs. I like this way where it's like a T on your legs. You can also do it long ways as well. The T just allows you to have something to rest your arms on. And then you can use a block or two under your forehead if you need one for caterpillar. And then just let your legs rest open or in whatever way they want to go. And just be here. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. And gently lift yourself back up. Take your prop long ways out in front of you between your legs. And then just use your hands to take your legs wide for dragonfly. You can fold over your props, or you can remove the props or lift the props up higher somehow. Maybe add blocks underneath. One good one is to put the blocks about a block's distance apart. So you have this armhole. And when you take your props on top, you can scoop your arms underneath the prop where that armhole is. And whenever you're there, feel free to rest your head to one side or another. And I'll let you know when halfway is, so you can turn your head the other way. And turn your head the other way. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. And gently lift yourself back up. Use your hands to pull your legs in. And then you can either do sleeping swan, also known as pigeon pose, with or without props. If you're doing it without, it's just the same shape as you would normally do. If you're going with a prop, you can place it on your mat like that. And then step your right foot to the left side of your prop. And then set your right hip down on the prop. And then pick up this left side of the prop and stick your heel underneath it. And then from here, you could use blocks or blankets or pillows underneath you if you wanted extra support underneath you. Or you can just come all the way down if your body lets you. And just breathe here. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. Then gently lift yourself up. And then if you're on your prop, you can just lean to your right hip, swing your left leg around, and then come back up and switch to the other side. Otherwise, take your left knee forward. Use or don't use the props. And come all the way down when you're ready. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. And slowly come back up. Lean to the side, swing your leg forward. Then grab your bolster again, or pillow, and put it out like you had it at the very beginning. This time you're aiming you're doing Sphinx pose, but supported Sphinx. So you're aiming your lower ribs to the prop. So you're just kind of wedging this prop underneath you. And then taking your arms out, slightly angled out away from you. This way you don't have to put all your weight in your arms. And then you can either keep your head lifting or lower your head toward your heart and let your neck stretch. You can also use a block or something under your head if having your neck hanging with gravity is a little too much. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. Gently lift your head. Use your hands to help press yourself back up. Okay. The next one, I really like this one. Like we had under our hips, we had the bolster under our hips for that version. Well, you're gonna take your front of your pelvis right on top of the bolster, and then the rest of your body comes to the floor out in front of you. And you can kind of scoot forward just to make sure your skin feels even. And then just get yourself where you feel like you can hold comfortably. And then walk your arms out and maybe make a pillow with your hands. If you need extra padding under your torso, feel free to add a blanket. And just rest here. Feel free to turn your head to the other side. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. And gently use your arms to press yourself back up. Come onto your back. Happy baby. Grab onto the outer edges of your feet with your arms inside your legs. And then gently rock side to side if it feels okay to do so. Wrap your arms around your legs. Recline child's pose. Feel free to just hold on to your legs with your hands or grab onto a wrist or your elbows. Shavasana. Feel free to prop yourself up. Maybe use something under your knees or under your neck or head. Feel free to cover up with a blanket. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. Bring movement into your fingers and your toes, wrists and your ankles. And gently pull your knees towards you. Maybe hug your legs in again one more time. And gently roll over to your side. Be here for a moment. And slowly press yourself back to seated. We'll finish with one Om. Take a breath in. Exhale completely. Inhale again. Feel free to place your hands over your heart, bowing your head into your heart. Take a moment here to honor yourself, each other, this practice, and anyone or anything else. Gently lift your head and open your eyes. Thank you all so much for coming today.